the planes ceased to land. Dimmed hotel lights. One by one, souvenir stores closed. And for whatever reason, no one raised the alarm. No headlines, no cautions, simply silence. And cities gradually being suffocated by it. Why are visitors rapidly abandoning entire U.S. states? Without making a single public announcement, the unseen boycott is costing billions of dollars. Which locations are collapsing behind the scenes while feigning stability? This is a slow-motion fall rather than merely a trip slump. And you might already have irreparable damage if your state is on this list. Let's find out who was most affected. Number 5. Florida. There are hundreds of vacant beach rentals. Unsold Disney tickets. Where did everyone go? What happens if the Sunshine State, which once attracted tourists from all over the world, begins to lose favor with the same people it once entertained? International tourists, once a surefire source of billions of dollars, are leaving Florida. Hotel occupancy in Miami has decreased by about 20% in the past year. Even during the busiest travel seasons, tourist destinations like Orlando are seeing a decline in visitors. And the worst thing is that many of these declines are coming from once loyal tourists. Why are tourists from Brazil, Germany, and Britain avoiding Florida? Has the state's reputation changed from paradise to pass? Whole coastal communities that were formerly based on foreign tourism revenue are now in decline. Disney is also subtly announcing a decline in worldwide ticket sales. What does this suggest for the other tourist destinations in America, if this is Florida's new normal? And is anyone taking notice before it's too late? Number 4. Maine. Cruise ships that bypass port and offer accommodations at half price. Locals attend lobster festivals in greater numbers than tourists. When does a slow season become an indication of danger? The foundation of Maine's tourism industry is rapidly crumbling. The state is now struggling with deserted sidewalks and peaceful waterfronts after being overrun with foreign visitors who were streaming into Bar Harbor and taking selfies with lighthouses. Why are tourists from Europe and Asia abruptly avoiding one of America's most popular summer vacation spots? Is Maine now too far away, or has the way the U.S. is viewed around the world changed significantly? The question of whether we can survive another season like this is now being asked by entire towns, from bed and breakfast to seaside tours. And this is the uncomfortable reality when foreign money stops flowing. Local economies in states like Maine don't slow down. Instead, they stall. Please like and subscribe so that we may continue to highlight the true situation at America's most vulnerable travel destinations. Number 3. Washington. The number of hotels is declining. Cruise departures are being drastically reduced. Many large travel agencies have removed whole overseas packages from their listings. How did Washington, a popular destination around the world, become one of the first places that international travelers silently marked off their lists? 2025, the tourism sector in Washington is bleeding, not just limping. Hotel occupancy in Seattle has decreased by about 12% from the previous year. This may not seem like much until you consider that it is the largest decline in the Pacific Northwest. And cruise lines are shifting ships to less complicated international destinations instead of Seattle's once bustling ports. Travel from Japan, Germany, and South Korea once. The state's primary sources of foreign spending have collapsed. Visitor centers in cities like Bellingham and Spokane indicate a decline in walk-ins. Why is Washington being abandoned while upscale travel agencies are cutting back on staff or closing their doors? Could it be the geopolitical mood, the visa issues, or something more profound, a change in the way the global perceptions of the U.S.? Not even well-known landmarks are overlooked. The Space Needle's foreign ticket sales have decreased by 10%. On busy weekends, more locals than tourists visit the Pike Place Market, which is typically a tangle of tour groups. Here's what makes it worse. In 2019, Washington depends on those visitors. Here, foreign tourists spent more than $2.4 billion US. If a picturesque, tech-savvy, progressive state like Washington is losing its appeal to the world, what does that say about the direction things are going? Today, that number has fallen, taking with it countless seasonal jobs and small businesses. Could this be the canary in the coal mine for other U.S. destinations? And how long until your local economy begins searching for a lifeline after international tourists cease looking your way? Number 2. In New York, luxury hotels are reducing their workforce. Dates are being discreetly blacked out at Broadway venues, and mysteriously disappearing foreign group tours. How can one of the most recognizable and well-known nations begin to fade from the world's tourism agenda? Even Times Square's lighting cannot conceal the fissures in New York, once the jewel in the crown of U.S. tourism. International travel to the Empire State has decreased by more than 16%. Brazilian, British, and Chinese travelers. Once a regular occurrence are trip cancellations, group tour avoidance, and complete absences from New York. The five-star hotels in Manhattan are providing unprecedented midweek discounts as a result of the ripple effect. Fifth Avenue flagship stores report the biggest drop in overseas sales in more than 10 years. Even the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island are reporting fewer ferry reservations. Is New York just too costly these days? Or has the city's appeal to people all around the world begun to wane? Real upstate attractions centered around summer festivals and wine trails are seeing a decline in foreign visitors, and parking lots in Niagara Falls, which used to be crowded with foreign foot traffic, are eerily quiet. However, the larger issue is that New York's economy depends on foreign tourists, and in 2019 alone, they brought in more than $45 billion US. Can a city that bills itself as the world's capital survive when the world stops turning up before we go on to the next state that unravels even more quickly? That number is in free fall right now. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel so that we may continue to delve deeply and share the stories that no one else will. Number 1. California. Los Angeles' upscale stores are deserted. San Francisco's buses are just half full, and several wineries in Napa Valley discreetly cancel tastings because of low attendance. What does it imply that California, the state with the highest number of visitors, is beginning to lose its place in the world's tourism spotlight? In 2025, there will be a silent exodus of foreign visitors rather than locals. Travel to the Golden State from abroad has decreased by over 18%. This shift is significant for a place that once flourished on tourists from all over the world flocking to LAX to buy on Rodeo Drive and take pictures at the Hollywood sign. Why are international tourists avoiding California? In the meantime, theme parks like Disneyland and Universal Studios are reporting lower ticket sales among foreign visitors.